This understanding that peace is not found outside, but cultivated within through awareness and acceptance is the foundation of inner strength and balance. Many people spend their lives searching for calmness in the external world, in relationships, achievements, or material possessions, believing that once everything around them falls into place, they will finally feel peaceful. But life never stops shifting. Circumstances never remain the same. If your peace depends on a world that changes every day, you will always be chasing something you can never hold. True peace begins when you stop looking outward and turn your attention inward. The mind, when left untrained, constantly drifts toward what it lacks, what it fears, and what it wants to control. This endless cycle creates noise within you, a storm made of thoughts, emotions, and expectations. To find peace, you must first become aware of this inner storm and learn how to observe it without becoming part of it. This awareness is the first step in discovering inner peace. When you begin to notice your thoughts, you realize how much energy you spend reacting to life rather than living it. Most people believe their thoughts are the truth, but in reality, they are simply interpretations shaped by past experiences and emotions. The ability to step back and witness your mind, to watch your emotions without immediately reacting, is the moment you begin to experience freedom. You can sit quietly, take a deep breath, and simply watch the noise within. At first, it feels uncomfortable because silence can reveal how restless the mind truly is. But with patience, you start to see that behind every wave of emotion lies a stillness that never moves. That stillness is your true nature, calm, steady, and unshaken. Acceptance works hand in hand with awareness. Many people confuse peace with the absence of problems, but peace actually arises when you stop fighting what is. Life is unpredictable and will always bring both calm and storm. When something unwanted happens, your first instinct is to resist, to say, "This shouldn't be happening." But resistance doesn't stop pain, it intensifies it. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or not caring, it means allowing reality to be what it is, without letting it destroy your inner balance. When you accept a situation fully, you are no longer a victim of it. You can now respond with clarity rather than emotion. Acceptance is also about forgiving yourself. We often carry guilt, regret, and self-criticism that block our peace. The mind holds onto the past, replaying moments when we failed or made mistakes. Yet peace cannot grow in a mind that refuses to forgive itself. You must learn to see your past not as a burden, but as a teacher. Every mistake was a step toward wisdom. Every failure was a reminder that growth is born from imperfection. When you accept your journey, every scar, every flaw, every moment of doubt, you create space for peace to breathe within you. Cultivating inner peace is a practice, not a one-time realization. You must nurture it daily, just as you care for a plant. It begins with small moments of awareness throughout your day, noticing when your mind begins to rush, when irritation rises, when judgment appears. Instead of feeding those emotions, pause, take a breath, observe what's happening inside you without reacting. In that pause lies power. That pause is peace. Slowly, your awareness expands. You start to see how little control you have over the world, yet how much control you have over how you respond to it. True peace also requires trust. When you stop seeking validation and control, you learn to trust life's process. You begin to understand that not everything needs to go your way for you to feel calm. There is a natural intelligence guiding existence, the same intelligence that turns night into day. This that allows a seed to grow into a tree. When you trust this flow, anxiety begins to fade. This you no longer feel the need to force everything to happen on your schedule. Instead, you align yourself with the rhythm of life. This doesn't mean you stop striving or working toward goals. It means you move with awareness without the burden of fear. To cultivate peace within, you must also learn to detach from external validation. The modern world constantly tells you that your worth depends on comparison, on being better, faster, richer, or more successful. But every comparison creates separation, and separation destroys peace. When you base your happiness on others' opinions, your inner world becomes fragile, easily shaken by praise or criticism. The moment you stop competing and start appreciating, your mind becomes lighter. You see life not as a race, but as a journey of learning and growth. In every moment, life invites you to choose peace over reaction. It's not a passive choice. It's a conscious act of strength. When anger rises, you can choose to pause. When fear whispers, you can choose to breathe. When chaos surrounds you, you can choose to stay centered. The outside world may not change immediately, but your perception of it will. And once perception changes, your entire experience of life transforms. Peace is already within you. It's not something to be earned, but something to be uncovered. The more you practice awareness and acceptance, the more layers of fear, doubt, and resistance begin to fall away. What remains is clarity, a deep stillness that no noise can disturb. That is the essence of inner peace. It does not depend on what happens around you, but on how deeply you know yourself within. When you master awareness and acceptance, the storms of life will still come, but you will no longer be swept away. Instead, you will stand firm, calm in the chaos, balanced in the uncertainty, and deeply at peace with the flow of existence. The importance of slowing down and reconnecting with your breath amidst chaos is something most people overlook in their pursuit of productivity and success. In the rush to achieve more, to become more, and to experience more, we lose touch with the very rhythm that gives life its meaning. Every day begins with noise, alarms, messages, traffic, thoughts, and ends with exhaustion, yet we call this living. The truth is many people are not tired because they work too much. They are tired because they never stop thinking, never stop moving, and never allow their mind to rest. Slowing down is not about doing less. It is about being more present in what you do. It is about shifting from the constant rush of doing to the stillness of being. When you slow down, you give your mind and body the space to breathe, to feel, and to connect with the peace that always lives beneath the surface of chaos. Your breath is the bridge between your body and your mind, between the outer world and your inner world. It is the most natural thing you do, yet the most powerful when done consciously. The moment you become aware of your breathing, your attention moves from the noise of the mind to the rhythm of life itself. The breath never rushes, it moves in its own calm, natural flow. When you learn to follow that rhythm, you begin to slow down, not just physically, but mentally. You start to realize that peace is not something you need to create. It's something you uncover by returning to your natural pace. Each deep breath is a reminder that the present moment is enough. You don't need to run toward it. You only need to arrive in it. Slowing down doesn't mean becoming lazy or unproductive. It means living with awareness. It means walking without hurrying, eating without distraction, speaking without tension, and listening without interruption. It means allowing yourself to be fully present in whatever you are doing, no matter how simple or ordinary it may seem. When you walk, feel your feet touching the ground. When you breathe, feel the air entering and leaving your lungs. When you speak, listen to your words as if you are hearing them for the first time. When you truly slow down, even the smallest act becomes sacred because it connects you to life as it is happening, not as your mind imagines it to be. The world teaches us that slowing down is weakness, that we must always move faster to stay relevant, to compete, to survive. But the truth is, speed often leads to disconnection. When you rush, you miss the beauty in front of you. You eat without tasting, talk without understanding, and live without truly feeling alive. The faster you move, the more your mind drifts toward the future, always chasing something that never arrives. But when you slow down, you start to notice the small miracles that were always there. The warmth of sunlight, the sound of your heartbeat, the stillness between breaths. You begin to experience life rather than merely pass through it. Breathing consciously can transform chaos into calm. When your emotions rise, anger, fear, anxiety, your breath is the first to change. It becomes shallow, fast, and disconnected. In that moment, if you pause and take one deep breath, you interrupt the cycle of reaction. That single breath reminds your body and mind that you are not your emotions. You are the observer of them. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, instead of reacting to chaos, you respond with calmness. The situation outside might still be stormy, but your inner rhythm remains steady because you have learned to control what truly matters. Your breath, your awareness, your response. When you reconnect with your breath, you reconnect with life itself. Every inhale is a gift, and every exhale is a release. Through breath, you learn the balance between taking in and letting go. This simple rhythm mirrors the essence of life, receiving experiences, learning from them, and then releasing them without attachment. You cannot hold your breath forever, just as you cannot hold on to moments or emotions. Everything flows and peace arises when you learn to flow with it. In today's world, where attention is the most valuable currency, slowing down becomes an act of rebellion. It is a choice to reclaim your energy and focus from distractions. When you slow down, you become more aware of what truly matters, not the endless notifications or the opinions of others, but the simple truth of your own existence. You begin to prioritize depth over speed, connection over convenience, and presence over performance. You realize that peace is not found by doing more, but by doing less with greater awareness. Practicing slow, mindful breathing daily can transform not only your emotional state, but also your physical well-being. When you breathe deeply, your heart rate slows, your nervous system relaxes, and your mind clears. You stop living in the constant fight or flight mode and move into a state of balance and clarity. Your breath becomes a silent teacher, guiding you back home whenever the world pulls you away. Imagine for a moment that life is a dance and breath is the music. If you move too fast, you lose rhythm. If you move too slow, you lose balance. But when you match your movements to the natural flow of your breath, every step feels effortless. You are no longer fighting against life, you are moving with it. This is the art of inner peace, learning to slow down enough to feel the rhythm of existence and allowing that rhythm to guide your path. In slowing down and breathing consciously, you rediscover the simplicity that modern life has made us forget. You realize that happiness was never in the future. It was always in the stillness of the present. The chaotic storm of life will continue to swirl around you, but when you are in tune with your breath, you will find yourself standing calmly in the center of it. The breath becomes your refuge, your anchor, and your guide. It reminds you that peace is not a distant goal, but a choice you can make in every moment. One deep, slow breath at a time. Letting go of control and learning to flow with life's natural rhythm is one of the hardest yet most liberating lessons a human being can learn. Most of our suffering is born from the illusion that we can control everything, that if we just plan hard enough, work long enough, or worry deeply enough, we can make life bend to our will. But life doesn't obey control. It moves in cycles, just like the seasons, the tides, and the breath. When you cling too tightly to how things should be, you create tension within yourself. You resist what is, and that resistance becomes the root of your anxiety. The truth is that control is a fragile illusion, and peace begins the moment you let go of it. To flow with life is not to give up, but to trust, to understand that even in uncertainty, there is intelligence, balance, and purpose at work beyond your understanding. Human beings fear uncertainty because the mind craves security. It wants to know what will happen next, how things will turn out, and what the future holds. This desire for certainty makes us overthink, overplan, and overreact. Yet if you look closely, most of life's beauty exists in what you cannot control. You cannot control the sunrise, yet it happens. You cannot control the beating of your heart, yet it sustains you. You cannot control how others feel or act, yet they play their roles in your journey perfectly. Life unfolds on its own terms, not yours. And that realization can feel both frightening and freeing. The more you fight against the flow, the more exhausted you become. But when you trust it, when you finally release the need to manage every outcome, you discover that life begins to move with a natural grace. Letting go of control means learning to dance with life instead of trying to dictate its rhythm. It means understanding that everything has its time: joy, sorrow, success, failure, beginning and ending. You cannot rush the blooming of a flower, nor can you force winter to turn into spring before its time. Life has its own rhythm, and peace comes when you align yourself with that rhythm. To flow with life is to accept that change is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. Every change brings growth, even the ones that seem painful. When you resist change, you suffer. When you accept it, you evolve. There is a quiet wisdom in surrender. It does not mean weakness or apathy. It means awareness of what is within your power and what is not. You can control your attitude, your response, your effort, but not the outcomes of those efforts. When you act with clarity and integrity, you have already done your part. The rest is life's domain. Trying to control what is beyond you is like trying to stop the ocean with your hands. All you end up doing is exhausting yourself. But when you let go and trust the tide, it carries you effortlessly forward. The moment you stop forcing and start flowing, your energy changes. You no longer chase life, you allow it to meet you where you are. To flow with life also means embracing uncertainty. Most people live in fear of the unknown. Yet the unknown is where all possibilities exist. When everything is certain, there is no space for growth, creativity, or transformation. Think of a river. If it never curved, never changed direction, it would become stagnant. It is the twists, the turns, and the unpredictable flow that keep it alive. the same is true for you. The uncertainty you fear is the very thing that keeps you expanding, learning, and discovering who you truly are. The more you trust this flow, the more peaceful you become. Not because life is easy, but because you no longer need it to be. Letting go of control also means releasing attachment to outcomes. The desire to always achieve a specific result binds you to anxiety. You start to measure your worth by success or failure, forgetting that both are temporary. True freedom is doing your best and then stepping back, allowing life to shape the outcome in its own time. When you stop clinging to results, you begin to enjoy the process. The journey itself becomes the reward. You learn to appreciate the present moment without needing it to lead to something else. This is where inner peace blooms, not in achieving everything you desire, but in realizing you already have everything you need in this moment. Another part of letting go is releasing control over people. You cannot make others love you, understand you, or behave as you wish. Every person has their own path, their own lessons, their own timing. When you try to control others, even with good intentions, you create tension and disappointment. Love grows best in freedom, not control. True relationships are not about possession, they are about presence. Let people be who they are, and you will find harmony instead of conflict. The same principle applies to yourself. Let go of the need to be perfect, to have everything figured out. Life is not asking you to be flawless. It is asking you to be present, to trust, to flow. Flowing with life also means embracing impermanence. Everything you see, everything you experience will change. Clinging to what must eventually fade only causes pain. The key to peace is gratitude, to appreciate what you have while it's here, and to let it go with grace when it leaves. Every ending carries the seed of a new beginning. Just as the tide retreats only to return again, life constantly renews itself. When you understand this, you no longer fear loss. You see it as part of the natural rhythm that sustains existence. In the end, letting go of control is an act of faith. Faith not necessarily in something religious, but in the intelligence of life itself. It's trusting that even when you don't understand why something happens, it is leading you somewhere meaningful. The storms will come, the seasons will change, but beneath it all, there is a current guiding you toward growth. When you stop fighting that current, life stops being a struggle and becomes a flow. You find that peace is not about mastering life. It is about allowing life to move through you freely. When you surrender control, you don't lose power, you discover a deeper, calmer, wiser power within. It is the power that comes from harmony with the flow of existence. And once you experience it, you will never again need to force anything, because you will finally understand that everything unfolds exactly as it should, in its own perfect time. Building daily habits that nurture calmness, focus, and emotional balance is the practical path toward lasting inner peace. Inner peace is not achieved in a single moment of insight or meditation. It is cultivated through consistent, mindful actions repeated every day. Just as a river shapes the stone through steady flow, small habits slowly shape the mind and heart. Many people look for instant peace, hoping that one practice or one retreat will erase years of restlessness. But true calmness is not built in a day. It is built in daily choices. How you start your morning, how you respond to challenges, how you speak, how you breathe, and how you end your day. These choices, simple yet powerful, decide whether your mind becomes your greatest enemy or your most peaceful ally. Your morning sets the tone for your entire day. If you begin the day in a rush with stress and noise, your mind will continue that momentum. But if you begin with silence, awareness, and gratitude, you carry that calmness through every hour. Waking up early before the world's noise begins, allows you to meet yourself before meeting others. In those first moments of the morning, sit in stillness, breathe deeply, and feel the rise and fall of your breath. Let your thoughts come and go without judgment. You don't need to control them. Simply observe them like clouds passing through a vast sky. That awareness sets the mind in balance. When you start the day connected to your breath and body, you are no longer a prisoner of the mind's chaos. You become its master. Another powerful daily habit is mindfulness in simple actions. Most people live their days on autopilot, eating while scrolling, walking while thinking, talking while worrying. They are physically present but mentally absent. The practice of mindfulness invites you to return to the now. When you eat, taste each bite fully. When you walk, feel each step grounding you to the earth. When you speak, be aware of your tone and intention. When you listen, truly listen without preparing your reply. These small acts of mindfulness bring clarity and peace because they pull you out of the mind's endless stream of thoughts and place you firmly in the only moment that truly exists, the present. This emotional balance also comes from knowing when to pause. The world constantly demands reaction to messages, news, arguments, and opinions. But not every reaction is necessary. Learning to pause before you respond is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. In that brief pause, you give yourself the space to choose wisdom over impulse. When anger rises, take a deep breath instead of speaking immediately. When fear appears, feel it without letting it control your action. The pause is where peace lives. It is where awareness meets emotion, transforming reaction into reflection. Over time, this habit teaches your mind to stay steady even when the world shakes around you. Another essential habit for nurturing calmness is protecting your environment. What you feed your senses becomes the food for your mind. If you constantly consume negativity through social media, arguments, or unhealthy conversations, your inner world will mirror that chaos. Peace requires boundaries. Choose what you allow into your space carefully. Spend time in nature whenever possible. Even a short walk outside. Feeling the air on your skin and hearing the natural sounds of life can reset your mind. Your environment doesn't have to be silent to bring peace. It just needs to be intentional. Create spaces that remind you of calmness. A corner for meditation, a journal by your bed, a few moments of silence before sleep. Gratitude is another habit that deeply nourishes peace and focus. The human mind tends to focus on what is missing, constantly chasing something more. Gratitude brings you back to what you already have. Each night before sleeping, reflect on 3 things you are thankful for. They don't have to be grand. A kind word, a smile, a breath of fresh air, or simply the fact that you made it through the day. Gratitude softens the mind and opens the heart. It transforms dissatisfaction into appreciation, replacing tension with warmth. Over time, gratitude becomes a way of seeing life, a lens through which every moment holds beauty, no matter how ordinary. Consistency is more important than intensity. Many people start practices like meditation or journaling with enthusiasm, but abandon them when results are not immediate. But peace does not come from effort alone, it comes from patience. The mind takes time to quiet, just as muddy water takes time to settle. Commit to your practices gently but firmly, even on the days you don't feel like it. Even 5 minutes of silence or deep breathing each day is more powerful than an hour once a week. What matters is not how long you practice, but how sincerely you show up for yourself. Equally important is the habit of self-compassion. Peace cannot grow in a mind that is constantly at war with itself. You will make mistakes, you will lose patience, you will have days when chaos feels stronger than calm. In those moments, be kind to yourself. Forgive your own humanity. Inner peace grows when you stop demanding perfection and start allowing growth. Practice. Self-compassion turns inner conflict into understanding, and understanding turns struggle into wisdom. Every setback can become a teacher if you meet it with softness instead of judgment. Lastly, practice. End your day as consciously as you began it. Before sleeping, put away your devices, sit in quiet reflection, and breathe slowly. Review your day not to criticize, but to learn. Where did you lose your calm? Where did you stay aware? This simple reflection transforms your daily experiences into lessons. Sleep with gratitude and awareness. And you will wake up lighter. Every day then becomes a new opportunity to strengthen your foundation of peace. Building daily habits for calmness and balance is an ongoing practice. A gentle discipline, not a strict rule. It is about creating a rhythm that aligns with the natural flow of life. Over time, these small habits accumulate, transforming your inner world. You start noticing that your reactions soften, your focus sharpens, and your heart feels lighter. Life's chaos doesn't disappear, but it no longer controls you. You begin to move through each day with quiet confidence. Aware that peace is not something to be found elsewhere. It is something you build, breath by breath, moment by moment, through the habits you choose and the awareness you carry.